Okay, so I did this yesterday and without thinking left the fan on in my bathroom, so basically I'm going to have to redub everything that I said. So if the video doesn't exactly match up with what I'm saying, I'm sorry about that. In the future, I'll definitely try to get a better mic system or set up something better, but for now, this is what you guys get. Okay, so to start off, obviously, you see that we're doing a Karen Gillan or Amy Pond look in the Angels Take Manhattan. It's a very neutral, kind of easy look, and she doesn't wear too much eyeshadow, but she wears a ton of mascara, a little bit of blush, and a little bit of lip color. So that's basically what I'm going to take you through. So to start out, I didn't go through my full foundation routine. I basically did it already. I use Revlon Colorstay and do a full coverage foundation, and then I cover that up with a Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I'm using Too Faced bronzers to kind of give myself a little bit of contouring. We don't want to contour too much because Karen has a really round face, but we do want to give ourselves a little bit of lift in the cheeks. So basically what you want to do is take your bronzer on your round brush, tap off the excess on your hand, and then in small circles you want to fill in right below your cheekbone. You don't want to go in too far. I would say that the eye is basically where you want to stop, and then you just want to give yourself a little bit of a lift because Karen has those nice high cheekbones, but she also has a really round face. The next thing that we're going to do is look at our blush, and Karen's cheeks in this episode are kind of a corally pink, so I'm using Milani Luminoso blush, which is supposedly a really good dupe for NARS Orgasm Blush. And I'm going to take my blush brush and I'm going to swipe it in the powder lightly, and then I'm going to tap off any excess on my hand so that it doesn't come off too vibrantly on my face. And then again, very lightly, I'm just going to rub it in small circles on my cheekbones so that we get a nice rosy glow. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is adjust our nose a little bit. We're going to kind of use a trick to make our nose seem slimmer, much like Karen or Amy's. So you want to take some bronzer on either a small face brush, or I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush, and you want to trace along the side of your nose to kind of bring your nose out, and it's sort of an optical illusion that makes the front of your nose more prominent. So basically you want to bring it up into your eyes, and then you want to feather it out and blend it so that it's not quite as much of a harsh line. After that, you're going to take some highlighter or a lighter foundation color and run it along the very front or right below the bridge of your nose to kind of bring that forward. So the next thing we're going to do is the eyes, and a trick that I like to do is to put on my eyeshadow primer first and let that dry and then move on to doing my eyebrows. So that's exactly what we're going to do. You want to take a small amount of eyeshadow primer. I'm using Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Put it on a finger, rub the two fingers together, and then rub it on your eyelids. Blend it in pretty well. So once that's blended, we're going to take care of our eyes, and Karen's eyes are really thin as far as width, but they're really filled in and really dark. So I'm going to take my Rimmel eyebrow pencil in Hazel, and I'm going to use the brush on the end, and I'm going to put my eyebrows in place where I'd like them. And then I'm going to fill them in with very light strokes. And you don't want to draw your eyebrows on per se, you want to fill in the area that's already there. So once your eyebrows have been filled in and they're a little bit darker than they were, you want to use the same brush on the end of your pencil to kind of blend the color out and make it a little less dark and forceful and harsh. After that, I like to use a clear brow gel, this one's by Ardell, and just to set my eyebrows in place because they do tend to get a little scraggly. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is the eyeshadow, and her eyes are very neutral and very beige, so we don't want to use too much color. So I'm going to start out with our first color, and I'm going to use my Naked Basics palette, and I'm going to use Naked 2, and I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush. This one's by ELF, or Eyes, Lips, Face, and I'm going to put the color all over the brush and then pat it gently all over my lid. Once you've filled in all the color on your lid, you're going to take a fluffy crease brush and take it into a darker brown. I'm using Faint from the Naked Basics palette. You don't want to put too much on your brush, just enough. I probably should have tapped off some of the excess color. And then you want to blend out from the outside in, right inside the crease. And then you want to make small strokes going back and forth until your color has been blended in with the first color that you put on your lids. The next thing that you want to do is you want to take the same fluffy brush that you just used for your crease and use a lighter color. I'm using Walk of Shame from the Naked Basics palette. It's a lighter, kind of a neutral or a peach. And you want to take that on your fluffy brush and go right above the brown that you just added and blend that up towards your brow bone, just to make the brown a little bit less harsh. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and you're going to take a really, really light, a little bit shimmery color. I'm using the brow bone color from Walking on Eggshells by Wet n Wild. And you want to take that right up along your brow bone, just to bring your eyes up and make them look a little higher. Her eyes are very wide, and this is a good trick to make your eyes look not quite so squinty if you have squintier eyes. We're going to do another trick later that'll help the bottom of our eyes kind of mirror that and make them look super round, much like Karen's. So the next thing that we want to do is our eyeliner. You could either use a gel eyeliner, like this one from ELF, or I'm going to use this dark brown from the Naked Basics palette. Yes, apparently that's dark brown. I thought it was black, but the woman in Sephora yesterday told me that it was actually brown, so I'm still going to use it, and we're going to go with that. So you want to take your dark eyeshadow on a flat brush and run it right up along your top eyelashes. It's not quite tight lining, but it's pretty close, and it just adds another bit of dimension. You could also do this with your gel liner and a thin liner brush. Next, we're going to take the same mid-brown faint color from the Naked Basics palette, and we're going to take a small eyeliner brush, much like the one that you might have used if you'd used a gel liner on your top lids. We're going to put a little bit of the powder on it and we're going to run it underneath our waterline. We want to be careful not to make it too harsh or too dark, just enough to make our bottom lashes really stand out. Once you're done with that, you can take a brown eyeliner, a pencil, this one's by Smashbox in Espresso, and run that on top of the powder that you just put underneath your waterline. Again, don't put it on too heavy. We don't want it to be super obvious that it's there. This is just a trick to keep our eyes wider. Okay, this one's the huge trick for wide eyes. You want to take a white eyeliner pencil, I'm using this one by Rimmel, and just run it along your bottom waterline. The reason that you want to use white is that it reflects light, so it makes your eyes look a lot rounder. Look at the difference between the eye that has makeup on it and the one that doesn't. Next, you're going to want to use a ton of mascara because Karen has a ton of eyelashes. I'm using Maybelline's 1x1. Okay, as you can see, I finished both eyes, and they look a lot brighter and bolder than they did before. So next we're going to move on to our lips. And Karen's are a bright berry color in this episode. So I'm going to start with a Maybelline Baby Lips in Coral Crush, just to give myself a little bit of hydration and also a little bit of base color, because this one is slightly tinted with a nice red color. When you're done with your lip balm, whether it be tinted or not, I'm going to go with a nice baby pink. This one's by Rimmel, and it's shade 101. You want to put that all over your lips to give yourself a nice base color for your lip gloss. Next, I'm going to use Lip Infusion in Pucker Up. It looks really pink in this video, but it's actually more of a bright berry, and it definitely shows up that way on your lips. It's also got this really weird applicator that looks a little bit more like a nail polish brush. The gloss helps your lips look shiny and natural, much like hers, but it also gives you the same color benefit that she has in this episode, because her lips are very bright pink berry color. So here's the completed look with costume and wig and makeup. I hope this was able to help you guys out. Again, sorry about the weird audio issue. Hopefully for the next one I'll be able to actually sync my talking and my video at the same time. Otherwise I might just not talk while I do it and then do another voiceover much like this one. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them as a comment or send us an ask on our Tumblr at Sonic Lip Liner. Thanks, and I hope to see you guys again soon.